You're now listening to the best radio station in the world. Rise Up Worldwide Radio.
Y'all know what it is, man. Rise Up Worldwide is in the building.
Yes, sir.
And listen, man, we fitting to get crazy tonight.
Okay.
It's your boy Joe Boss.
And I am Chef
Rock
516. Yeah,
in the building, man. Listen. And we got the homie K Drama in the building.
Yeah.
And let me tell y'all, man, we about to have a dope interview. And we got a lot to talk about with y'all tonight, man. Listen, we got my man K Drama, who's gonna give us all kind of gems about the CHH music business.
Looking forward to it.
His particular ministry and music, and how he became so successful. So we're gonna talk about all that. We're gonna talk about Tom Brady winning his 7th NFL championship. Could you consider him the GOAT now? Is there really an argument? You know, is there an argument? I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Y'all heard that. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it.
I heard you suck your teeth.
Did Jamaican kiss your teeth?
Listen, I hear you. I know you're not feeling that, but he's got an argument.
I mean,
now.
Shout out to Brady.
Save it. We'll talk about it. We'll get into it.
But shout out to the boys. Shout out to Kansas City too, man.
Yeah,
they made it to the bowl.
Listen,
they made it there.
And listen, and I hope y'all don't look down on Patrick Mahomes, because that was his first time.
He made it there.
And he made it, but listen, he ain't had a full squad. His line, he was on second string, but I'm gonna save all that. Let me save all that.
We gonna save it
because I'll jump right into that one. You know what I mean? And then we also gonna talk about how y'all preparing for Valentine's Day. You know?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. How y'all getting ready for Valentine's Day and preparing for a time with the wife? You know what I mean?
You're gonna need some Tubmans.
Yes. Them Tubman 20s. Hopefully they get her on them 20s real soon.
Listen, I'm telling you what, I'm gonna be on TikTok as soon as I get my Tubmans.
And if y'all don't know what we talking about, man, we talking about they gonna be putting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill soon. Hopefully, it's in talks. It's in the works. It's in the works.
Conversation is being had.
Yeah. But listen, man, we gonna have a dope time, man. I'm excited about this interview because listen, it's been a long time. I've known K Drama for a long time. He was actually one of the first artists that I got a chance to hear when I first got into the CHH scene. So it's an honor for me. Matter of fact, it was Air Jordan on him that actually set up everything for me. So you know what I mean? That was it was definitely a big banger. You know what I mean? And we're gonna talk about that a little later, man. But listen, I hope y'all ready for some fun, man.
Right.
I hope y'all ready. The second half of the show, I'm gonna slow it down for the ladies. You know what I mean? As we get later into the hour. But this first half,
shout out. Look, this ladies on the check-in on the Facebook Live.
Already. Listen, we appreciate y'all. Listen, like, share, subscribe. Listen, share this.
Smith.
Share this on your page because guess what? You're gonna bless somebody to hearing this. You know what I mean? And let's get started with the homie we had on the show last week with AI the Anomaly. We're gonna start out with this track. It's called Grown Woman. And listen, when we come back, we're gonna jump right into this interview. All right. Yeah. Y'all know what it is, man. Rise Up Worldwide.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all following us on all social media at Rise Up Worldwide. And let's do it, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. But listen, man, we got the homie K Drama in the building. So we gonna focus on my brother in the Lord, man, and let's get this popping right now. So listen, K, man, let's talk about these new tracks you got coming out. You got the TBT music series. You got Both Sides of the Blessing. Let's talk about that one. Both Sides of the Blessing, man. What was that about?
So, Both Sides of the Blessing, it's the title track of my upcoming EP that's dropping March 12th. And so,
Nice.
actual intro song from the EP. And so the song really lays out the EP in the sense that each blessing, when I think about blessings, I think about there's two sides of a blessing. There's before you get the blessing, and then there's after you get the blessing. But most of the time, it's hard when you're anticipating the blessing. You praying for the blessing, you waiting on the blessing. It's like, like I wish I had the blessing already. You know, whatever whether it's a new job or you try to increase your finances or you're working on an album, whatever the case is, like there have been times in my life where I've struggled with the tension of, hey, I'm seeking after this thing, this opportunity, this blessing, but am I in the right place? Like, am I doing the right thing, or should I be focusing on something else? And on this track, like I talk about like how I'm older now, and so it's hard because when I was younger, it was like the older cats were sort of not paying me attention or not giving me opportunities. And now that I'm older, it's like you got the younger guys, not all, but like just in general, like sometimes, you get the OG label, which I'm grateful for on one end, but I feel like in CHH, OGs don't really get treated like OGs, like for real. Like it's kind of just a title. And I'm like, keep the title, And so really on this track, like I wanted to showcase like, hey, like I'm getting older, but that doesn't mean I'm like decreasing. Like I feel like I'm getting better, over time. Like my rhyme schemes, my beats, the quality. I really work hard on all of those things. I seek God for fresh ideas. I seek God for the blessing. You know what I'm saying? And so
absolutely.
I figured that Jared Sanders would be a dope feature to get on this because he's always preaching hope hop. I like the Hope is Dope campaign, and man, this would be a perfect feature to get on. And plus it'll challenge me because Jared is a rapper's rapper. And so for me, I ain't trying to get bodied by Jared on the track. You know what I
mean? Yo, that's a real statement.
That's real though.
That's a real statement.
I knew, like, because oftentimes when we do features with guys, sometimes we'll send the beat first and then let them do the verse and then we write our verse after. So we know what we got to live up to. But I did it the opposite. I it's like, yo, I'm going to put my best foot forward from the jump. And then, I think Jared, he's going to bring it regardless. And hopefully the two verses will mesh. And I feel like we complemented each other very well. And then Michael V, I was like, man, it'd be dope. Like, I feel like this track is missing something. And I feel like he put the cherry on top with the intro and the outro. So, yeah, man, Both Sides of the Blessing. I'm really grateful for this track and for the EP. And I feel like it's going to encourage a lot of people.
Definitely, man. I mean, it's definitely a fire track, man. You know what I mean? And thank you for letting us know that you're coming out with the new album on March. You know what I mean? So that's really dope. I feel like that's an exclusive that nobody knew about yet.
Yeah, got to drop the bombs on them. And plus, it's tomorrow. I haven't said this yet. Tomorrow the pre-orders start. So
nice. You focus.
Pre-order dropping. I got the album cover dropping. I'm dropping all that tomorrow. I haven't said this either. Like I got a whole like collection dropping tomorrow. Like I got dad hats and shirts and all sorts of stuff that goes with the project that I'm hoping people take.
You just give all kind of exclusiveness.
Yes, man.
Tonight.
Up, man,
listen, and we love it. I'm telling you right now, we love all of it because you know what I mean. He ain't have to do that at all. He definitely came through, though, man.
Man.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Like
that's love right there.
That's a movement.
Word.
Hey.
That's a movement.
Word. So drop an air horn for that. You know what I mean? But listen, you out here grinding because it ain't been that long since you just dropped Volume 3 on the TBT music series.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Talk about that a little bit.
So 2020, I was like, yo, I want to drop singles. Like, I just want to drop songs every week as much as I can. And so I did Throwback Thursday, Volume 1, Volume 2. I started those back in 2015. But I was like, all right, 2020, I want to take it up a notch. And so in January last year, I kicked it off with a Mike Tyson sample. And all right, y'all, like, yeah, like I'm really focusing on lyricism this year. Like I'm focusing on delivery and lyricism. I'm like, the beats will be there, but I really like I feel like a lot of guys know me more so for like just making bangers and the beats being dope. But I'm like, I got bars too, and
right.
The message is important to me, and so I wanted that to shine. And so dropped a bunch of tracks, and then I wanted to tie a bow on it with the project Throwback Thursday Music Series Volume 3. So even though most of the songs had already dropped in 2020, I wanted to put them together as a collective, so that, because I felt like a lot of people kept up with me, but then a lot of people might have missed it. So I was like, let's just put it together as a project. I'll throw some new joints on there, and this will kind of be like a mixtape that'll promote both sides of the blessing. So I'm weaving them together to where it's like each one complements one another. I got like the fun Throwback Thursday Music Series, like, and then I got the more serious side with the both sides of the blessing. And so I'm trying to give people both sides of K-drama, if you catch my drift. So.
Got you. So what inspired the whole Throwback Thursday series in general? Like, where did that idea come from?
So for a while, like, I had kind of dabbled into like flipping like it started with Street Fighter. Like I would flip Street Fighter songs. So I flipped Guile's theme song a couple times.
Right.
Back in like mid 2000s,
Right.
But I didn't really think much of it. And then around 2014, like I had just got off I had dropped Winds and Waves, and I was looking for something to do in between Winds and Waves and like my next album, which was the 8th. And so I was like, well, let's do like a weekly series where I sample some of my favorite like cartoons or video games. And so I kicked it off. I did like Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I flipped the theme song, and crazy response. Like people just didn't know what to do with it, because it was like, although it was fun, like I was still rapping. Like they was like, yo, like this dude actually rapping. Like
you out here going hard.
Like, how is he rapping over Chip and Dale? And I had talked about like police brutality and a bunch of other stuff, because I was like, I feel like that stuff is slipping through the cracks. Like it's like sometimes some crimes go slipping through. And I was like, and so people started catching what I was doing. Like, although I'm flipping these very nostalgic, soundtracks, it's got a message. I'm not just I don't mind having fun, but I like having fun with a purpose, like through my music. And so I noticed, like, I did Fresh Prince when I flipped that, when I did Upside Down. That's when it really, like, I was like, okay, like this is about to be my brand. Like Retro Regis, that's about to be like another side that I'm gonna have to finesse probably for the rest of my career at this point. And so 2015, and I'm really grateful that people enjoy those songs, and I'm gonna keep doing them. I actually got a remix. I'm gonna drop another exclusive on y'all. I got a remix of my Doug song. I don't forgot the name of it, but Dear Journal, I'm gonna drop a remix in a few weeks after I drop my second single from Both Sides of the Blessing, and it features Dylan Chase. And so I'm really excited about this joint. Me and Dylan haven't collabed in a minute. Actually, we've never collabed lyrically. Like, I've done beats for him, but we've never collabed on a song like with vocals. And so this is the first time we've collabed, and I'm really excited for people to hear this joint. Dylan already did his verse. It's super dope. I actually got to do mine. And this is the case where I'm like, all right, let me see what he does first. And then I'll write that, because Dylan be bodying tracks too. So
Yeah. So listen, man, I think we should get into one of these joints, because you out here, like you said, bodying tracks. And and people ain't ready for it, man. You know what I'm saying? That both sides of the blessing joint, I think, is where we need to go ahead.
Let's do it
and jump off to it, man. But before we do that, my real quick question is: I noticed that you don't always put everything out for streaming services. Is that by design, or is it like something that you can't do because of copyright? Like, just explain that real quick, and then we can jump into the song.
Here's the quick on it. So I don't want to get sued. And so I feel like I'm just under the radar to where like I'm probably not going to catch their attention, but I feel like I can teeter at any moment, like with any of these songs, and then it's just out there, and I don't want to be like vulnerable.
Okay.
So what I do basically is I drop them on YouTube, and then sometimes they'll claim like I've had a few of my songs get claimed, so I can't monetize them, which is fine. I'm like, cool, that's like me paying a royalty to them for using it, so I don't mind. And then what I'm doing is I'm gonna remix all of the songs. I'm gonna make sample free versions, kind of like Coke Zero. So it's like I'm gonna have the sample version. You can get that off of Bandcamp and all that, but then I'll have like the sample free diet version that'll be on all the streaming services, and I'm dropping that in April.
Okay. All right. So let's get into it, man. Both sides of the blessing, man. My man K Drama featuring Jared Sanders. Y'all know what it is, man. Rise Up Worldwide.
Don't touch that dial. Keep it locked at RiseUpWorldwide.com.
But you have a 100%
out. He put out an album not even but a month ago.
Right.
Another album coming out in about a month now.
Right.
And yeah. Like, people don't drop music like that no more, bro. Like, you really fitting to flood the game. Like, I'm just really getting through the music you just put out. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't even giving me time to get tired of it yet. Like, I'm still bumping it, and you finna give me some more. Like, you finna take up my whole playlist, bro. That's not fair.
Yeah, he's Debo
mode.
He said it's my playlist.
Oh man.
But for real though, let's talk about you, the businessman, K Drama. You know what I mean? So I can assume that you're full-time music, right? Or are you like bivocational? Like, are you a pastor? Or, do you have a day job or something that you do? I doubt that, but.
So it's funny answering this question because I do music full time, but I don't rap full time, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
I rely heavy on the production side to pay a lot of the bills. So
okay. That was actually my next question.
So rapping for me, that's like the dream, but or the I'll say like the passion projects.
Yeah.
I mean, and those generate income for sure, but it's really the production, because I do a lot of production for a lot of indie artists. Like, of course, I've done production over the years for a lot of the who's and CHH, but I don't really do production for those guys anymore. I do a lot of production though for people just all across, the United States who do Christian hip hop, who just hit me up like, yo, I'm a fan. Do you sell beats? And I'm like, yeah. I point them to my SoundCloud, and they either buy something off of my page that I already made, or oftentimes I'll make them custom tracks. Like, they'll even hear, so like Throwback Thursday, or TBT Volume 3, for instance, people will hear that and be like, yo, like, man, I've always wanted I wanted Batman. I want somebody to flip that. Maybe you could do that. How much would you charge for that? Like, so TV serves as a billboard or like a commercial for a lot of indie artists to hit me up like, yo, man, I love your beats. Like, I'd love to get one from you someday. And usually they don't expect me to respond. And that's where, like, because I tell you, man, I get so many artists, like indie artists, who tell me like, yo, you're like the only artist who's responded to me, like the only artist like on your level, on your caliber.
Thanks.
I take advantage of that. I'm like, yo, y'all leaving money on the table. Like,
And listen,
That's the truth.
afford to leave money on the table. I'm like, yo, you hit me up. You need a beat. Bet, let's get it. Like, you know what I mean? I never turn away people. I love building. Plus, I'm a Christian first anyway. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I look at it like, yo, okay, drama, like I'm untouchable. Like, I'm like, man, nah, we're brothers in Christ before any of this. And so
Right.
I'm grateful for the platform, but like if we humble ourselves, like we could really, there's really a lot of opportunities out there. But like I said, dudes are leaving money on the table, whether it's a collab or, you know, and I understand, like, if you don't want to collab with certain artists because you're like, like, I'm not really feeling their music, then that's on you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The game the same way as a lot of people do. So
Got you. So now, do you work with artists that are quote unquote secular or no?
nah, I don't. Like, so I mean, there's been a few that's kind of slipped like under the radar, like that I didn't realize. Like, I'm like, oh, this dude rapping about some crazy stuff, and I was just like, like, because I've really tried my hardest not to produce on tracks that I wouldn't endorse or promote. Like, there was one guy who bought several beats from me, and you know, he had a real good spirit about him, at least, you know, on the outside. But then I heard the songs that he made, and I just was really grieved because he was talking about like just some
It's a mess.
stuff, and I was just like, oh, like I can't play this around. If I can't play it around my kids, like, I don't want to produce it, honestly. Like,
I hear you.
for the most part, like, obviously there are some topics that need to be addressed from a Christian perspective, but may be explicit in content, but still glorify the Lord. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like, I don't want to produce on something if I can't play it around the kids.
Yeah, I have so much respect for that, honestly, because that means it's not all about the money.
Yeah, I'm leaving money on the table. Like, on the opposite side, like, that's the kind of money I'm trying to leave on the table. Not on the Christian side, though. I'm like, yo, I want all that,
Facts.
all them back.
You know what? That's so good, man, because you know what? I think a lot of times when we're in these different endeavors in this walk, we tend to forget the spiritual aspect of things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really, really good. That's really good to be anchored in like that.
I appreciate that.
For sure.
It ain't easy. It ain't easy. I'll say that. But I'm grateful that God is giving me that desire and that He provides so that I'm not tempted to go into those spaces.
Okay. So you already mentioned that obviously the production side is the more lucrative part of the business. So do you have other ways that you monetize your business?
Yeah, so I got multiple streams. Of course, most of them center around the music, like, but there are different branches. So like anything you hear on the music side, I do. So like I got some guys who I produce for, some guys who I'm doing features for. I got other cats though that are hitting me up for mixing and mastering, or they don't know how to market their music. They're hitting me. I do consultations. I do to where they're paying me by the hour. I of course do shows, even though my shows I haven't been touring almost for a whole year. So that's a major hit.
Yeah, COVID shut that down.
Shut that all the way down. But and then like I engineer sessions too. So like people come to my studio, or before COVID, they were coming to my studio and I would record them. And then I got cats who pay me for everything. They're like, yo, I need beats. I got one dude that he literally paid me to make his whole EP. I produced it, I mixed it, I mastered it, I featured on it. And yeah, like I love opportunities. Those are the bigger bags. And it's dope because he's a dope artist too. So like sometimes it's
promotion for you.
Yeah, and it's promotion for me. And then what I do is because I'm starting to delve into the video side of things now too. Like I bought a bunch of lights, I got lenses, I got cameras. And so what I've been doing is I've been testing it on myself to where like I get in the booth I'm recording myself rapping over the beat. And those are like some of my better videos that people respond to. And then what I do is I'm on Final Cut Pro, you know.
So you're doing your own video editing.
My own editing. And I'm hoping that eventually, especially when COVID's over, like I'm hoping like that's something I can monetize as well. I'm investing in stocks. I'm in a stock group, and they're teaching me like how to buy low and sell high, you know, and all that kind of stuff.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's been cool. So
that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's what's up, man. I'm glad that you know you developing these multiple streams, because there's a lot of artists out here starving. And COVID did some damage. You know what I mean, for people who were, you know, dependent on touring, because nobody could have seen something like this, you know what I mean, come forward. So it really changed how we do things.
And I'll tell you this, man, like God is good. No matter what the situation, like I've had my struggles. So like I don't say this as if I haven't struggled, but I'm grateful that this isn't the time that I'm struggling. Like I'm grateful that in the midst of COVID, like I've been able to pivot into different things because I haven't solely relied on the rap side and touring. Like because I do production, I do other, you know, mixing and mastering and all that. I've been able to just lean into that stuff more and lean into making my own music more, monetizing that, as opposed to like, because I mean, half my income came from touring, but it wasn't like I wasn't able to pivot into other things. And that's part of where the grind is coming from too. It's like every song is a moneymaker too. Like I think about it from that perspective. So like more music I can drop in this age where everybody got amnesia, like as far as music wise, like,
and listen,
oh, it's like you drop a joint and then people, they like, what's next, you know? And so like I'm grateful for brothers like you who are like, yo, I'm still listening to this. You know, I got a lot of other people though that are like, all right, where the next joint at? I'm like, man, like like what's going on? So
man, all right. So listen, what you doing, man, is what they call goals. You know what I mean? Like you got multiple streams, you monetize. You know what I mean? Like you literally monetize you as an artist, you as a producer, as a consultant, marketing director. You getting bags, bro, and that's what's up.
I got the YouTube bag starting. I just got my first YouTube payment a month ago. I finally reached the threshold. It took so long, but I wasn't able to monetize it because I didn't have enough subscribers. But I was like, man, if I really get on my YouTube, like I should have been doing this. Like there's just stuff that as an artist I wish I was already doing, like the YouTube hustle. I'm finally getting into that more, and I'm seeing things grow. Like Song Trust is another thing. There's a lot of artists who aren't signed up with Song Trust, and I'm like, yo, that's money you leaving on the table. Like that's passive income. Like that's the thing I'm working on in 2021. It's developing those passive income streams that just work for themselves while I'm, you know, doing the music. And I'm like trying to really delegate a lot of stuff to where I just want to make the art, and then I'm not passionate about mixing my own stuff. Like I could pass that off to somebody else. And even the production, like I love making beats, but like my new EP that drops next month, I only produced half of it, which is what enabled me to make it so fast, because I got 3 other producers on it. And so like I'm really thinking like, how can I be I'm not trying to be God, but I'm trying to be as omnipresent as possible musically. And that's the goal. I'm trying to be everywhere I can be, and the more I delegate, the more I can get accomplished in the music space.
That's what's up. That's a fact. That's what's up. So listen, let's jump into this track, Goals, because that one is fire, man. And when we come back, I want to talk about it. And then, we want to talk about how you managing, doing all of this and the family life. All right, let's do it, man. Rise Up Worldwide. Y'all know how we do, man. Yeah. Rise Up Worldwide, man, with my man K Drama. Stay tuned. Stay blessed. Rise Up Worldwide, man.
Yeah, we back.
That was the homie Fizzle with the track Summer Was Canceled. I wanted to play something that's a little funny, and a little fun for y'all, man. Since we having fun with the homie K Drama,
Hey,
uh, that
Let's
track
do
is just so fun to listen to.
it
it.
It
is.
Is
feels
though.
like oh we
It is.
and I can't hold a note, but I feel like I can sing listening to that. You know what I mean? But my man Drama over
So
here, I be
good.
having fun listening to his joints, man. Like,
Appreciate it.
you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I need to pull out, a old Atari or a Super NES
Yeah, man.
to jump to listen to his music, man. It really do take me right back to like the late '80s, early '90s
Yeah,
when I first got into video games.
yeah.
I remember my grandma would only get me one game a year
Oh wow.
because she didn't want me to be on the video games
Yep.
all the time. So
She did right.
when I had the Super NES, I had Super Mario Brothers 3 for the
Yeah.
whole year. That was it. Then the next year,
No.
I can't even remember what she got me the next year. But the point is, she made it to a point that I could only play one game. And that was it.
But you know the crazy thing is, now that you get grown, you only play one game.
Yeah.
You
Yo,
buy all them games, but you just play one.
I've just recently bought like 3 games. I haven't even busted them out the plastic yet.
Oh wow.
Because
Getting dust on them.
seriously, because life, you get busy as an adult, man.
You
I
sure
wish I had video game
Video
time.
games over there getting dust.
Like I gotta put that on the calendar. Video game time from 8 to 9. Do not disturb.
Because what you do is you sit down and get ready to play, and then you watch something on TV, and then it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
By the time that go off, it's time to go to bed.
Go to bed. Oh, big fact.
Then you start the grind all over again. You know what I mean?
Please.
But listen, man, I want to talk about how you manage your family life because I know you're married.
Yeah.
And you have how many kids do you have?
3. Yep, I got 3.
Woo! You are being fruitful and
Fruitful.
multiplying, sir.
And listen. And listen.
I got 1, and that's tough.
Ooh, yeah. What a
My brother here got a colony.
Yeah, I gotta start at 5. So
nice. Yes.
So
1,
yeah,
3, and 5.
that's right. That's right, baby girl. See the anchor.
I got 1, and she is everything.
I bet.
So, but yeah, so how do you balance that? Because with everything you're doing, I can imagine it don't leave a lot of hours left in the day.
Yeah. I tell you what, I manage family life similarly to how I manage my finances. And what I mean by that is I am very tight with how I spend my time. Like I try to milk every minute I can. Like I do have time for downtime. But like we just talked about, like I schedule it. Like I literally I have video game time. It's funny you say 8 to 9. Mine is from like 8:30 to 9. And so I've been playing NBA Playgrounds for like 3 years. Like, did you not trying to upgrade all the characters? And so I play it for about 30 minutes every day. It keeps my heart healthy. But what I do is I wake up really early in the morning. I mean, I wake up sometimes at 4 o'clock. Most times I wake up about 5. Like 5 is the average. Sometimes 6. It just depends on the day. But I wake up early. You know what I'm saying, do my morning shenanigans, and then I get it in with the Lord early while everybody's asleep. Like I'm the first one up, I'm the last one to bed typically. And so I pray, or I read the word first. I like to read then pray. Because I like to pray from the word. Like that's something I've been trying to do over the years, because sometimes I don't know what to pray. Like, and that's fine. Like it's fine if you don't, but I like to read the word. I'm like, yo, I want God to do that through me today, or I want to have this posture as I think about life. I'm actually in a group where we're reading the New Testament together with my church. It's about 6 of us. We read it every morning, and then I cook breakfast every morning for my boys. my daughter, she's 14, so she's kind of on her own schedule, and she's an amazing chef. Like, she gets down in the kitchen. Mom taught her really well. Like, she's always experimenting different cultures, and
Yeah.
I'm always going to the grocery store buying different seasonings and all sorts of stuff for her. She loves the produce section, so I mean, she's amazing. I love her to life. But yeah, I cook the boys, my two boys, I cook them breakfast every morning, and then that's time that we spend together. So it's like, I mean, anybody's welcome, but typically my wife is asleep. And so my boys and I, we have, you know, that man son time. And so you know, some days we're just watching ESPN while we eat. Other days I'm teaching them about gentleness and how to grow up and be the man that God wants us to be and who I'm striving to be. And so then from there, I work out for about 20 minutes, 3 times a week. I've lost 20 pounds since September. So
Right.
and that's been hard, but I've been working really hard for that, you know. And so I do that, and then I work because I do music full time, so that really helps with the music side. And being that I work from home, like, my schedule's super fluid. I can do whatever I need to do. I usually work from like 12 to 6:30. So I don't even work an 8-hour day. I work like 6 hours realistically a day, 6 days a week. And then I try to be done. I'm trying to be done by 6:30. We usually eat dinner at 5:30. And then every evening, I'm either spending time with one of the kids or all
Right.
of them at once, or with none of them, because sometimes they just trying to play Fortnite or play
Yeah.
games, and they
Yeah.
don't mess with dad, you know, which is fine. And so I'll usually clean the kitchen during that time. Bedtime's 8:30. We pray together and, you know, do all that stuff, and then I spend time with the wife at night. So after my video game time, and usually
That's what you work on number 4.
Oh man, yeah. Man. And so we usually I fall asleep on her, to be honest. Like, we're watching WandaVision right now. That's our show.
Yeah.
It's super dope. And usually, but there's days where, because I'm so tired from the grind, you know, by the time, you know, we'll watch the TV watching me usually, and you know, and then we do the grind all over again. So
Man, I understand, bro.
Sundays I don't work. So Sundays I take as my Sabbath, and I try my best to not even clean on Sundays. I try to just straight, because I went to Israel some years back, me and my wife, and
Okay.
we got to see how they celebrate the Sabbath, and not that you have to be religious about it, but it just really put things into perspective. Like, I was watching them, and they try not to even wash dishes on the Sabbath, you know, and they don't try to cook on it, you know, and I don't go that far, but like it just really put some things into perspective about rest. And so I really value rest, but I also value hard work. So it's a pendulum, and you just got to keep swinging from left to right.
Wow. That puts a lot of perspective when you say something like that.
Yeah, man.
Because, you know, it's almost like how when people of the Muslim faith take their pilgrimage to Mecca.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Us in the Christian faith should probably take a pilgrimage to Israel.
Yeah, I agree.
To see like where it all started and how serious it is.
Yeah.
Understanding what the Sabbath is.
Like, a beautiful country. Like Israel, I mean, it is so, you can feel the presence of God. Like, when we land, I kid you not, like, it not on no spooky stuff. Like, you can feel God's presence in Israel. Like, it was amazing. And yes, there are a lot of politics in Israel. Like, I'm fully aware of that. But like, it's just so, there's a peace there that I've never felt before, and like, I love it. I highly recommend. Like, I mean, you get there, like, they got all these buildings that are just, they look like gold, like they just shine in the light. And I took so many pictures, man, and I want to go back. My dude played basketball in Israel. He plays pro basketball in Japan now, and so we got the opportunity to go. We stayed with him and his wife. And man, it was just so fun, man. We had a great time.
I can imagine, man. I can imagine. So
Yeah.
now let me ask you, as far as like, your wife, is she involved with your business at all, or she just more like a support system for you?
So early on she was, and she was very hands-on. Whether it was just singing on tracks, because she's on a lot of my songs. She's done artwork for some of my albums, like the Eighth. The Eighth is probably one of my best album covers, and she actually made that.
Thanks.
Like I remember when that album came out, a lot of people were like, "Who did you cover?" And I was like, "My wife did it because we were broke, like we had nobody." And so she did that for me. But these days she's busy her own self. So we go to a pretty big church called Crossroads, and it's a multi-site. I mean, there's like nine locations, and I think 4 or 5 of them, they're like 3,500 seat auditoriums.
Wow.
They do multiple services. Obviously, COVID has changed that, but like,
Right.
she's on the worship team, and so she's busy like recording and singing, and I mean, it's almost like in some ways like we flipped. Like she's kind of like she the one traveling, and I'm at home, making sure everything is cool. And so, which I love. Like, I'm glad to see her like moving in this space. I've been waiting for this for so long. But yeah, so I mean, she does get involved. Like today, for instance, I was working on merch stuff, and I was just like I made a cover in Photoshop for Flamin' Eye's new single that's dropping on my EP. And
I love the exclusive information. I just want to say that.
Drop the exclusives. And so I showed her the cover, and she was like, "Nah, man, that's ugly." Like she was like, so she's my soundboard. Like nothing else, she gives it to me raw and straight. Like she'll tell me if something's whack. She'll tell me like if a bar is whack. She'll tell me also if something's dope too. Like I did a song, and I mentioned, like, I talk about my dad on this song. Like my dad and I we weren't close. And so I got this bar on the song, and she heard it through my headphones. She was like, "Wow, that's how you really feel?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Yeah, I can see that," because she knows, And so
yeah.
But yeah, she's real supportive of what I do. There was a time where I talk about it on my 8th album, where she was like, "Yo, I think this music thing, I think it's come to a close," and I had to fight really, for it. I was like, "Nah, I think even from a financial perspective, I think music is still to go for now." And we got through the storm, and she's been really supportive ever since. So
wow, praise God for that.
Praise
man.
God. Yeah.
Praise God. Listen, man, let's jump into some music, man. That was I don't want to follow that part up with any more questions, because I think I want the people that's listening to this to really marinate on everything that you said. You know what I mean? I'm just going to recap the fact that you intentionally make time for your family.
Yeah.
That like you said, I think the word you said was you're stingy with your time.
Very stingy.
But you need to be.
You gotta be. You can't do everything. You can't say yes to everybody. You gotta. If someone texts me today, they're like, "Have you been getting my text messages?" And I was like, "Yeah, but honestly, I'm just on go mode. I just don't have time to reply. Like we're not friends, And so I hated to say it like that, but it's just like if I drop my phone for everybody who texts me, like I would never get anything done. And so I'm like, I have to be very stingy with my time.
Right. And you got to respect that.
That's good. It's
You got
important.
to respect that.
That's important, man, because it interrupts the flow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you be on another wavelength that is not conducive to what you trying to do.
Especially if it's somebody that you don't normally talk to.
There you go. Yep.
If it's somebody you talk to every day, you can kind of expect like within a short amount of time they're going to get back to you.
Right.
If there's somebody you kind of just hit up out the blue randomly, you need to give them like 2-3 days to respond, because you don't know what their schedule is like.
Yeah.
And to be honest, your text or your message is probably not top of the list of things they got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Don't interrupt the
So, so listen, man. Let's get into some music, man. I wanted to jump into this spinal joint
Yes.
that you did with the Mike Tyson sample.
I broke my
That joint is it's a dope song, and honestly, it's hilarious.
yes.
It's absolutely hilarious. And then we gonna double down
Okay.
with the track "Double Down."
Yeah, that's my joy.
So we gonna hit y'all back to back real quick, man. Let's do it like that. Rise Up Worldwide. Listen, follow us all social media and share this episode on your page. All right, y'all know what it is. Spinal with my man K Drama. Stay tuned. Stay blessed. Y'all know what it is, man. Rise
Yes,
Up
sir.
Worldwide.
We back.
Listen, man. I hope y'all been rocking with us, man.
Cause
Listen,
we rocking.
subscribe to the show. We on every single podcast platform you can think of, and probably some you ain't even know about, because we officially on Spotify, we on iHeartRadio, we everywhere. You know what I mean? Anywhere you can get your podcast, you can subscribe to the show.
We in these music streets.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Listen, we got Drake. Yeah, I can't get my words together. We got the homie K Drama in the building, man. And listen, it has been an amazing interview. For those of y'all that's just tuning in, let me tell you, you have missed quite a bit. But I want my brother here to, first off, for the artists that may be up and coming and that they may be trying to build their career, what advice would you give to them?
I would say be yourself. I know that can seem very cliche, but I fight that every day. Like I fight wanting to conform to what everybody else is doing, versus being the individual who loves video games and loves, rapping about transparent things that maybe other artists aren't rapping about. And so I encourage you, like, you're gonna find gold being yourself. Like God can really shine through you, I feel like, the most when you're being most authentic. So I say be yourself, be a student of the game. I'm still learning stuff every day. Like I'm on YouTube University every single day, looking up different, hacks and tricks and trying to learn marketing stuff. And because the game is always changing, I feel like there are people who have a wealth of knowledge that could really benefit us if we open our ears and our eyes to it. So I would say be a student of the game. And I would say, like, just create, and put it out, and don't worry about the politics and how many followers you're gonna get and how much money you're gonna make. Just do it, and the Lord will bless it. Like I started doing music, I didn't start doing music until after I became a believer. And when I started doing music, like I never thought it would go this far, but my intention was just to make what God inspired me to make. And years later, like I look back and I'm like, wow, like I see how God was ordering my steps. So just trust that whatever you're doing, like God is leading you. Like, it may not feel like it sometimes. You might just feel like you're just making this decision for, X, Y, and Z, but you look back and you're like, wow, like God really was ordering my steps. Like, man, make the plans, but God orders the steps. So I would say those three things, like, can't go wrong if you stick to your guns in that way.
Wow, that's good advice right there, man.
Later.
Wow, yeah. So I want to ask you, like you said, you've been doing this, what, 20 years now?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Woo!
It's crazy.
That's crazy. How do you maintain your faith walk? Because at your level, let's be honest, you get offers that everybody don't get.
Yeah.
So how do you maintain,
No.
How do you maintain your faith, and how do you maintain, you know what I mean? How do you maintain yourself?
So I wrote a new song, kind of about this. It's called
You're breaking up a little bit.
Monument. It's gonna be on my bad. Let me see what's going on. Let me turn it down a little bit. I bet. Check 1 2. All right. So I wrote on Monument, and I talk about just how we have to create reminders of what God has done for us. Like, it's easy when you're in the middle of like a hard situation to forget like what God has brought you through. And you read the book of Joshua, and they took 12 stones, one for each tribe, after they crossed the Jordan. And God delivered them to the promised land. They built this monument to remind them that God delivered them from Egypt, into the promised land. And so many reminders around me that, man, like, God has brought me through so many things. Like, it's just hard for me at this point to deny God, like, because I've seen God's faithfulness. And that doesn't mean that I don't slip, I don't fall, I don't get short-sighted. But I feel like, as far as consistency goes, I feel like between reading the word, I try to read every day. I don't always read every day the way I want to. Like, I see the word because of everything I surround myself with, but I feel like devoting time to God, like, for studying, for praying, I try to do that every day, but I don't always succeed at that. But having that kind of consistent life, and then having a wife who is a solid believer, and having friends, having a community, like, you can't do this alone, man. Like, we all go through stuff with our spouse, or with our friends, or at our jobs. We go through a bunch of stuff, but that community, which is something I'm grateful that Reach really advocated for, like, in their music, in the late 2000s and 2010s.
Right.
Like, they really talked about community, and I really value my community. Like, I can tell them, like, when I'm not feeling well, when I'm struggling, and they'll build me up with the word of God. They'll pray for me. They'll help me out, like, if I need. And so yeah, I feel like those are the things. I have anchors in my life that keep me, grounded. And so I feel like we have to have reminders of what God has done for us, and then we also have to have anchors that keep us solid and keep us in place, so that we don't waver too far to the left or to the right.
Wow.
Good.
That's really good. I like that a lot. Okay. All right. So listen, man, thank you for rocking with us.